Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of Shri Rama Bharti Public School. This is Natasha here and we are continuing with our chapter Our Changing Earth. In the previous videos we had seen various processes which lead to occurrence of changes on Earth's surface. Now there are four main agents that cause these changes and one of them is river. So in this video lecture we will see how work of river leads to changes on our Earth's surface. Now, these are four main landforms which are formed due to work of river: floodplains, delta, oxbow lake, and waterfall. Now, we will further study all these landforms in detail, starting with waterfall. Now, waterfall is, in simple language, you can say when river falls from a height, it leads to formation of a waterfall. Correct? But what happens is the rock from which the river is falling, it is not of same structure throughout. Some part of rock is hard, whereas some part of rock is soft. So the soft rock is easily eroded by river. And when that happens, when this soft rock is easily eroded by water, by river, you can say, so what happens? The height of waterfall increases. Why? Because it is constantly eroding the soft rock that is beneath this hard rock, and due to which the overall height of this waterfall is increasing. So originally it would have been a small waterfall, but due to constant erosion of this soft rock, the height of waterfall increased, and thus this is how a waterfall is formed. Now there are various waterfalls throughout the world. Correct? We can see waterfalls in our in various videos, in various movies. So highest waterfall is Angel Waterfalls of Venezuela. You just have to remember the highest, longest, largest, because it usually comes in a 1 mark question. So highest waterfall is Angel Waterfalls of Venezuela, that is in South America. Niagara Falls is another important waterfall that is located on the borders of Canada and USA. Whereas Victoria Falls is also quite famous and it is world's largest waterfall. See, there is a difference between largest and highest. Largest means that waterfall is covering a large area, whereas highest means that waterfall is at a great height. The water of river is falling from a great height. So Victoria Falls is the world's largest waterfall and is located on the borders of Zambia and Zimbabwe in South Africa. Now our next landform is Oxbow Lakes. When a river enters in plain area, it twists and turns. Whenever a river enters a plain area, it always twists and turns. Now, why does that happen? Because the speed of river is not enough now. When rivers enter in plain areas, the velocity of river is decreased. So it always flows in a bending structure, the way snake crawls on ground. Similarly, the river flows. This shape is called meandering shape. When it twists and turns, it forms large bends. If you can see in this picture, it is forming large bends. For example, this loop, semi loop. And this large bend is called a meander. Now, these meanders lead in the formation of Oxbow Lake. Why? Because erosion and deposition occurs along the sides of this meander, due to which what happens in due course of time, this meander loop, it cuts off from the main river. See, the deposition occurs on this side, due to which now there is no supply of water in this loop, and river changes its path and it starts flowing straight away. So what happens, since there is no supply of water in this lake now, and it has been separated from the main stream, it becomes an oxbow lake. Now our next landform is delta. See, as the river approaches towards the sea, the speed of river further decreases. Now it is at an old stage, so the speed of river is almost nil. So the speed of water also decreases as the river is approaching the sea. Now, due to this, river begins to break up into a number of streams and forms distributaries. Distributaries are always formed at the mouth of river, the place where river is about to meet the sea. Because river does not have enough speed now, it divides itself into distributaries, and this landform now, when river has divided itself into various channels, this triangular landform is known as delta. So what happens, these distributaries deposit its load near the mouth, and if you can see in this picture, it leads to formation of a triangular landmass. This triangular landmass is called delta. Delta is a landform created at the mouth of the river. Mouth of the river is the place where river meets the sea by the deposition of sediments that is carried by the river. If you can see these brown portion, these are nothing but the sediments that have been deposited by river. Since the speed of river is very slow here, it cannot further carry the sediments with it. So what it does is it deposits all the sediments at the mouth of the river, which leads to its further distributing channels, which are called distributaries, and this entire landform is known as delta. So delta consists of several distributaries. Our next landform is floodplains. See what happens. Floodplains, as you can understand by the term, the plains that have been formed due to occurrence of flood. Now what happens in its course, river at times overflows its banks. You must have heard that now there is a flood occurring in Assam, now there is a flood occurring in Bihar. So what happens, due to excessive rainfall, the water of river gets over flooded, or when a large amount of water is released from dams, the amount of water in river gets increased and the volume gets increased, due to which it often floods its banks. So when the amount of water in flood increases, it leads to flooding of the neighboring area, and this leads to formation of floodplains. Now, flood deposits layers of fine soil and other materials as well. You may know it better by silt. So, this layer of sediment is deposited at the time of flood in the neighboring areas of the river, and this results in the formation of flood plains. These flood plains are very fertile and very helpful in agriculture. So these were the landforms that a river forms in its course, and these are the examples of changes as well that the river is causing on Earth's surface. So that's it for this video. In next video we will study about the next agent, another agent that causes changes on Earth's surface. Till then, stay safe, have a good day.